Hello and welcome back to the Alizee Yeezy show. I am your host, Alizee Yeezy. This is a new thing that I'm always coming up with these new things and then never following through with the execution. So let's just see how this goes. I want to call this segment Tea Break because I'm going to have a cup of tea. Should take 20 minutes or so. And I just want to discuss something that's been current in the news or whatever. And for this segment, I'm joined by other YouTuber. I meant to say fellow YouTuber and it came out as like other YouTuber, just like someone else. Vangelina Skov, who's also my editor. Hello, mate.
Hello. Hi. I'm going to pretend we haven't been speaking this entire time.
We've been talking for literally like 3 hours straight.
It's far too long.
It's been such a kerfuffle. Anyway, let's dive straight into the topic. The Try Guys.
The Try Guys. I am just going to point out that this is tea and that you're saying it's tea break because you're having a break and failed to mention the tea aspect of this.
Well, I didn't want to handhold people, you know. I figured they could just figure that one out for themselves.
Can they?
My audience, they're smart and mature and older. So I reckon so. Does this qualify as doing drama or talking about drama? I don't it kind of does, but also it's just one of those things where I just saw it and I thought, that's interesting, and the audience reaction to it is interesting. Is it well, I used to think, getting off track already, we really need to do this in like 20 minutes less. I used to think that when I did drama videos anyway, that I was taking a more nuanced approach to it, but I'm not sure, that's what I thought, but I'm not sure that was the actuality of me doing it. That's what I want to try and do with this. What do you think?
What do I think about the way you've done it before?
Or just this in general? Does this count as drama? Am I going back on myself? No, I just find this interesting, what's happened.
It is drama, but it's not like... See, I've done videos with people talking about the differences between tea and drama and commentary and stuff. And it's not quite tea because that tends to be the daily, what are the YouTubers up to today? This is kind of more current events and there's been articles about it, so that kind of makes it more news, I think. But it's still technically drama. But at the same time, it's also kind of serious. So, not sure.
Okay. So, what's happened? I'm sure everyone on YouTube is aware by now. The Try Guys, which is a quartet of former... Oh, I was using that thing to point. There we go. A quartet of former BuzzFeed employees where they just try things, right? One of them, Ned Fulmer, it's been revealed that he has revealed that he was cheating on his wife for an unknown amount of time. And look, I'm going to do this thing, right, where, of course, I'm aware of these people because I will just watch a video occasionally. People all across the board, all across the spectrum, whatever, when it comes to YouTube, you know. I do this thing where I'm always never liked this person. And some people don't believe it. But you and I, Vangelina and I, we speak daily. Can you confirm for the audience at home that I genuinely just don't like anyone?
No, I was about to say, no, you really don't like anybody.
But it's not, I'm not hateful, yeah. It depends on the subject, actually. But it's not an active dislike. I just, maybe because of the ADHD, impulsivity, irritability, I get irritated very easily by literally fucking anything. Right. So it's not like I'm actively disliking things. I'm just it's not for me. Not for me. If it ain't a Russell Brand video, it's not for me. And even sometimes me and Russell, in my head, we've had our fallouts before about things.
I've noticed it.
Not genuinely, which makes me so unhinged because he's there, he's vaguely aware that I exist, but he has no idea that in my head we've fallen out at least 10 times over the course of, I don't know how long it's been, 18 or so years. But right, this bloke, Ned Fulmer, he's done videos with his wife before because I've watched some of them, the date night videos where they make stuff. He has very much made his marriage, his relationship to this woman, the content. He has a cooking book out with her about, best date night recipes, this type of thing. And I put on my Instagram, how are you going to make your relationship the content? Which I'm kind of against. I am against people exploiting their private life, mining it for content, unless it's done in a funny way, like Tana Mojo. I keep my relationship private offline because it's mine, it's for me. How are you going to make your relationship the content? And then cheat on her. What galaxy-brained move is this? How high is his IQ?
I started to think about this because I'm just going to preface this by saying never heard of this man in my life until this happened. Never seen Try Guys. But I'm still fully invested. This is how broad-reaching this whole story is. But it must have been like, did it become too much pressure? Like because he made so many things with her, it felt like work, you know? Like, does that even make sense?
Yes.
I'm just trying to figure out why you would do that. But at the same time, I've seen the compilations of him saying, my wife, my wife, my wife. So it's like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah, it's weird when people do that, because they say that you shouldn't really work with, like, try not to work with your friends, try not to work with your partners, because if you're in this, I don't know, confined space, whether it's physical or mental, you're going to get on each other's nerves, things are going to happen. Right, okay, so he made... I looked at a whole article about this. I was pretty invested for all of like an hour. People were already guessing that there was some issue because he'd been taken out of a few of the he hadn't appeared in a few of the Try Guys videos, and he was taken out of like something about a theme song. Did they have a theme song?
Yeah, apparently, but he's not in it now or something.
I have to say that their content, it's not for me. Mm-hmm. I saw an Independent article, and Independent are behind a paywall, so I couldn't read it. But the Independent article was like, why did... no, do you know what? I'm going to fucking get it up right now. What's his name? Ned Fulmer.
Being serious here, showing receipts. Is it Fulmer or Fulner? Which one? I keep calling him Fulner. I also keep calling him Ted, so that's not right either.
No, that's it. The Try Guys drama and what happens when a wife guy's brand backfires. Why did the idea of a man loving and supporting his wife ever seem like a concept unique enough for monetization? And I was like, Independent. I don't tend to agree with you sometimes. I like that, credit where it's due.
I hadn't even thought of that. That's bizarre.
Just a man loving his wife, and people really... Is that how low the bar is? For everyone out there?
I think so. I mean, people don't really have... I don't know if we're planning to go into full sexism spiels here, but I don't think people have high expectations for men in relationships anyway. Because it's always like the man's helping. He's not just like doing the things he's supposed to be doing. He's like helping
he's babysitting.
He's babysitting the kids. He's helping with the dishes. It's weird. It's weird.
A man takes his child to the park and is commended for being husband of the man of the year for doing the bare minute. Yep. Seen a lot of that in Am I the Arsehole threads.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I do the bare minimum every single day, and I get no praise for it. What the fuck?
Innit? That's how I feel sometimes. So Ned put on his Instagram,
oh God,
family should have always been my priority, but I lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship. That people have taken umbrage, and we'll get into that. But that, to me, I adore the fancying up and sophisticating of the language used here. A consensual... No, you had an affair. You had a shag buddy. You had a fuck buddy at work. You had an affair. Why are you dancing around it, trying to make it seem, almost intellectualizing it, making it seem like not as seedy as it actually was? People have taken umbrage with this, a consensual workplace relationship, because he is very much one of the bosses of Try Guys. And this lady, I forget her name, the affair partner... I think she appeared in a few of their videos, and maybe she was a producer or something, but he was very much the boss. And how consensual can it really be when there's a imbalance of a power dynamic? Some people, I will say, some people do find that exciting. Like there's whole categories on porn websites of like, you know, employees shagging their boss because of the imbalance of the power dynamic. Some people do find that. So I don't think if you're on the outside in, maybe it's always fair to say, like, it is like there is inherently issues with it. Some people do like it.
Mm-hmm. You know, one of the videos she was in, though, one of the videos was they were helping her pick out the bridesmaids' dresses for her wedding, because she's engaged, or she was engaged. She's not anymore. Yes,
she had a fiance.
Yeah. Did you see he posted a picture as well? Or he didn't post, a friend of his posted a picture of him like raising a glass, and it said something like, "We got our guy back," or something like that. I was just like, good for you, I guess.
I saw that someone had put on Reddit that they were messaging someone who I think they were messaging her ex-fiance with pictures of Ned and this woman at somewhere in New York, some bar, dancing and kissing after I think the Try Guys had maybe produced a video in New York. I think Eugene had maybe done something or whatever. So it's like, how that's quite callous as well. Like you've got this image to maintain because you're the Try Guys and you've come from BuzzFeed, and BuzzFeed, I feel like the Try Guys are kind of, even though maybe they've done things like the Try Guys try lingerie, I feel like there's still a family-friendly image being portrayed, even if there's adults, like not family-friendly, brand-friendly. Brand-friendly, like, you know, we're good guys doing this thing. But then to be there just like snogging your affair partner, like in maybe a work party environment, mate, because I think they were all out at this club. The whole situation is just really interesting to me because it's just so like, I've seen people being like commenting on his Instagram saying how you had it all, you had the because I think maybe they were having an affair when his wife, Ned's wife, was pregnant.
Okay.
You know, and actually, if you go through his Instagram, my God, I've never seen something age so poorly so quickly. It's like his Instagram has aged 5,000 years overnight because he's got, if you go 4 images down, he has a picture with his wife and kids, and it's like Mexico photo dump. What a fun trip. He's got one. We interrupt this wholesome family vacation to bring you a poolside thirst trap, and it's him in like swimming shorts. Him and his wife feeling grateful that I get to spend this special time with my loves, not loves, what's a love? People commenting right now. I hope she's okay. Was it worth it?
Oh God.
Oh, God.
I feel so bad for the wife. I've forgotten what her name is. So sorry if I'm just calling her the Ariel. Okay, I feel so bad for her. Like, that's just so sad. And then probably people are messaging her and like commenting on her stuff. It's just like, leave her alone. Like, it's already hard enough. But I'm kind of wondering as well, like, because his statement said consensual workplace relationship, blah, 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 using fancy words. I guess he's trying to make sure people don't accuse him of, like, something predatory or horrible.
Yeah,
but
really
like,
inappropriate.
Yeah, was it, like, a proper relationship? Because I read as well, like, people had been spotting them all over the place and, like, they went to a Harry Styles concert or something. I saw that too. Yeah, it's like, so was this, like, a full-on relationship? And if so, why were they flaunting it around everybody at work? Like, were they trying to get caught? What was the end goal here?
Is it just being so unself-aware and so short-sighted that you feel that you're untouchable and you can't fall? Or is there something else? Is there wanting to get caught? I don't know, because it does sound like a full-blown affair. His statement goes on to say, I'm sorry for any pain that my actions may have caused to the guys and the fans, but most of all to Ariel. The only thing that matters right now is my marriage and children. Should have bloody mattered then, mate. Like, the children should have factored in. You know, if you're going to bring children into the world, can you make sure that your foundation base is as stable as possible? It's like your foundation is some sort of like, I don't know, Kat Von D lock-in. Like, it needs to be this state. If you're going to bring children, right, getting a bit off topic here, but I hope when this happens, people often, because there's kids involved, feel the pressure to stay because they want to stay together for the kids. But when you do that, you're kind of, if it's something that you feel that you really can't move past, you know, like a full-blown, I wouldn't even forgive kissing. I just wouldn't, because it's in, whatever, let's not get into it. But if you stay together for the kids, you're basically teaching the children that someone can mug you off. And this has happened incredibly publicly. But just take a normal relationship. If you stay together for the children because of cheating, you're teaching your children it's okay to treat other people like that, because people will try and stay. You're giving them a skew to, like, children can pick up on when things are fucked up at home. Mm-hmm. So trying to stay together for them, just like my family life was instantly better and there was no adultery going on. But when my parents divorced, my family life, it was a bit rocky to begin with because it's uncharted territory. But they were happier because they weren't stressed out from being together. My parents, you know, children pick up on this stuff. Before they got divorced for 2 years, I was acting out at school, and it might have been linked to the tensions going on in my household. He says, my children, and that's where I'm going to focus my attention. Oh, well. Too little, too late, isn't it?
How old? Do you know how old his kids are?
There's pictures on his Instagram. They look like, I don't know if they have 2 or 1, but they look to be. I think that's a baby and a toddler.
Okay, because if they were any older, like, there's a chance of like the other kids at school finding out and then like taking the piss out of them for that. But I guess if they're not in school yet, it's kind of okay. Like, it's not okay, but it's not a risk.
That's also why this is so interesting, because this is so public, and it kind of, I don't know what words to use. I don't want to say amused or entertained I guess I'll just say I found it interesting. I found it interesting that this guy had an affair and now he's lost everything. He's lost his job. He's been fired from the Five Guys, the Try Guys. The Try Guys have become the Try, as in Free Guys now. That might be the title of my video. Try Guys, more like Try Guys. Oh, I'm so clever. I know I'm so witty. He's been fired from his job. He's might get a divorce. He now, one of the top comments on this says, this feels unreal, like the Try Guys were supposed to be untouchable. This is also what I want to delve into, because I find that statement, you've set yourself up for failure now, because there is no such thing as unproblematic fave. We're all human. We've all done varying degrees of fucked upness. I know that I am, like, not when it comes to cheating and stuff, but just being a bit lousy, druggy, whatever. Like, I know I've done stuff. Like,
not me, I'm perfect.
You're perfect, but all the rest of us are mere mortals.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe that's why there's been so much backlash. I mean, he has presented himself as this family guy, but he's doing this. I'm a bit cynical. You just really can't trust. You don't know any of us. You can't trust what we're, unless you meet us, right? Any YouTuber, anyone online, you don't really know. Like, I love Keanu Reeves. I've loved him all of my long life. I don't really know him. But I've got enough, like, not anecdotal evidence, but other people's anecdotal personal experience with him. I'm pretty, like, 99, I'm 100% certain that he's a great guy. But you still don't know these YouTubers. So to place them on pedestals, and they are ex-BuzzFeed. And we've had chats about this before. Because I like some parts of BuzzFeed. I like the Goodful channel. They have this lady called Merle on, and she does these vegan recipes, like trying to turn like a tomato into an egg yolk, and she has her own channel, and it's really interesting. I like that side of BuzzFeed. Or Alvin, he makes like these 90-hour long cakes, and this, I like that side of BuzzFeed. But people might not remember this. I've been around the internet for a long time. In the like 2010s, I feel that BuzzFeed did so much more harm than good, and I feel like we're still feeling the remnants of that. And I've seen a TikTok talking about this before, but this is honestly how I feel. I feel that a lot of people who might not like feminism or third wave feminism, it's not really a reflection upon feminism itself. It's a reflection on the feminism that places like BuzzFeed were putting out in like 2014, 15, 16, especially with what happened politically, and then on after. Because like, back then, it feels weird talking about this. Back then, there was this online culture war, and there still is, but back then it was really bad, and it was between cringe and anti-cringe, SJW and anti-SJW, and you had people on the anti-side like Ethan Klein, or I want to say, I kind of want to, no, not really Filthy Frank, because he was always a character, but you had like Ethan Klein and these types of people on that side, and that's because people who are new to the internet, they might not. Were you around during this time? Did you see things like the humongous thing, where a guy just said, a lady was like, "What's your name?" He was like, "Humongous." It was a dad joke, and then the lady started screaming at him, being like, "That's sexual assault. That's harassment."
Yeah, it was a mental time completely.
This is how bad it was during the time, and it was like Leafy is here was around, and it was just this whole. It was a disaster, right, for the online world at that time, and you had organizations like BuzzFeed stoking the flames and making it worse. There's a video on my channel. It's one of the oldest videos on. I look so much like I look a bit thinner. So annoying. And it's actually got Kez Motion, my videographer, who helps me out sometimes, my videographer mate. He's in it. He's the ginger boy. And we're reacting to a BuzzFeed video about manspreading.
Oh God, the fucking manspreading.
Do you remember that?
I remember the manspreading. It was so annoying. The manspreading issue, this is the root of all evil. This is why everything is a problem now. Because this was blasted all over BuzzFeed as the biggest feminist issue was men sitting with their legs apart. Mm-hmm. And then other news outlets took that and started posting the same shit. And then people took it to heart, and was like, yeah, manspreading is a major issue. And you had all this shit coming out. Whereas, like, most people who were like, this is not a big deal, it just got so divided, and it's all BuzzFeed's fault, and I hate them. And like, I was majorly anti-feminist, and it was all because of this like fucking girl boss feminism that BuzzFeed was doing. It was so embarrassing and unnecessary, and there's actual issues they could have been talking about. But no.
Yeah, and the funny thing about this is I've spoken to, like, you know, privately, I've spoken to maybe hundreds of people about these same issues, and we all seem to be on the same page. Especially, you know, I myself, like, I had like a anti-feminism phase. Me, the big Alizee, the big, strong, independent female woman. I should be like a young adult dystopian protagonist, you know, like the strong female lead. No, I'm joking. But it wasn't really a reflection of me internally. Not really. It was this retaliation to what was going on and how like besmirched the ideal of feminism was becoming because of places like organizations like BuzzFeed or MTV. I had that. It was a bit of a pick-me girl phase as well, I have to admit. Just like, but, you know, I still believed in equal rights and equal opportunities for people. It wasn't like I was like, no, women should stay in the kitchen. Absolutely not. I ain't staying in the kitchen for no one, bruv. And I've always been like that. But it was because BuzzFeed and other outlets, it was bordering on, it wasn't even bordering on, it was misandry. And I have a lot of complaints about men, but most of the closest people in my life always have been blokes, you know, and I know that like the blokes I know ain't raging misogynistic sexist, but if you read into these outlets at the time, everything was so tribal, so divisive, that like you would read this stuff and you would come away thinking yeah, like every man that you know is an issue, or you'd be a bit like, well, that's not my lived experience. So it was so, and I've never really forgiven BuzzFeed for doing this type of thing, because I think it egged on this online culture war where everything was so divisive. And the issue with the online culture war was, it's a whole conversation for another time, but the algorithms come into play, because the Google algorithms, and they still do it a little bit, and I've been told some like varying reasons as to why this happened. If you clicked on one anti-SJW, like SJW gets wrecked compilation, suddenly hundreds would get recommended to you. And this is because, you know, at the time it was this, like Ben Shapiro got really big this way. And it's because it was really popular at the time. And when something's popular online, the companies like Google want to exploit it because they want to put adverts on it. And it's not even really, I would argue, it's not even really a political or ideological standpoint. It's just a capitalist money-making standpoint of whack, you know, a bunch of adverts on this anti-SJW compilation, gets millions of views, do it to the rest of them, etc., etc. So you've got on one hand these outlets doing this stuff, and then you've got like the internal AI of Google doing another thing. And it was just this mess. And when it comes to like the ex-Buzz, I mean, there's lots of ex-BuzzFeed employees who have left and complained about the workplace atmosphere at the time, or being forced to eat weird things on camera and not being comfortable with stuff. Like if you Google this, a lot comes up. But when ex-BuzzFeed employees just like get into shit, I'm always a bit like, interesting.
Well, I think like BuzzFeed doesn't have, I don't think I know, BuzzFeed doesn't have like a moral compass. They don't have a viewpoint or some kind of like mission to better the world. They're just a company. They're trying to make money. At the time, that like promoting that bullshitty version of feminism and making everything on the internet so much worse for everybody forever, like that was profitable. And having that very brand-friendly version of everything, because like that version of feminism was a very monetizable version of feminism rather than it being like an actual serious conversation.
Like
so still
feminism.
So still all the BuzzFeed stuff is like that, and to a degree a lot of the ex-BuzzFeed people, they still kind of use that mindset, because they'll leave the company and they'll do their own stuff with what they've learned about monetization and business from BuzzFeed. So like the Try Guys, they still had that very brand-friendly version of everything, which is really easy to crumble. As soon as like you just break into that and see like a bit of realism, it's fucked. And that's what happened with him. Like he cheated on his wife, which happens a lot, unfortunately. It's like, but if it wouldn't be so bad if he didn't have this big persona of I love my wife, you know. So it all kind of ties into the same issue.
I will also say with the BuzzFeed issue, there are also opposing outlets with opposite ideological standpoints that do this as well. It's not like BuzzFeed are the ultimate big bad guy. No, there's lots of them, and they just all want to make money, whether they're anti or pro, whether they're left or right, whatever. Like it's all everyone's just vying to get your bucks. essentially,
Absolutely.
to get your clicks and get your views. But the BuzzFeed thing for me, I guess, because it feels a little bit personal, because it's like, I fell for the rage bait and the outrage thing and the recreational, because there's a recreational outrage on all sides. It's not just like, oh, left or right. No. All, like, everyone does it and engages in it. But that one, it was just, and unfortunately, if you engaged with that type of content at the time, the anti-BuzzFeed stuff, it can and did lead people into different, like, bad rabbit holes and pipelines and ideological pipelines that aren't for the betterment of humanity. So, like, it's like this push and pull factor of the left and right. Some leftist outlets will push by being controversial, like BuzzFeed has done, and then some right-wing outlets will see that and react by pulling, by being like, oh, look, they're all crazy and you can come trust us and come over here, look at my suit and my nicely combed hair. And it's all bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all, like, a lot of what we're seeing now is definitely like a direct effect of that. Like, it all just kind of stems from that. But if it wasn't BuzzFeed or like those similar companies, it was going to be something else. Like, it was going to happen just with the way, like, money making on the internet went. It was going to happen. But fuck BuzzFeed. That's the message. And fuck Ned Fulmer, Ted.
Yeah, I just say, like, the Ned thing is just, like, it really piqued my interest for some reason, because it was a bit out of left field, I will admit. And then I did instantly recognize him as, hey, that's that family man who goes on the date nights with his wife and stuff. Even though I don't watch the Try Guys, out of all of them, I don't really like any of them. I've watched some of Eugene's stuff and I like him. I will say that I like Eugene Yang, but, like, the rest of them, one of them's really tall and has a really annoying face. I think his name's Keith. No offense, Keith, if you've watched this. No offense, mate. No offense, mate. It's just not my content. It's not my cup of tea, and that's fine. I just find it interesting, and the audience reaction as well. Like, people here now saying, I'm so disappointed, man. 33,000 likes. And it's weird because this should very much be just a private situation between him and his wife. But because they're public, they have to sort through all this out publicly. How mortifying. I think it's imagine you've done that to your partner and you have to put up a little, like, notes app screenshot on your Insta and Twitter being like, I had an affair and I'm sorry. And then you've got thousands of people who you don't even know being like, I'm so disappointed in you.
Who are you to be disappointed in me? It is weird. Like, I'm not, like, fuck him, whatever. Like, I'm not defending him, but, like, everybody's so dramatic about it. Like, you don't know this man. You don't know him.
Relationships, they feel like they do know him because they've been seeing this persona of him. So it's I think I do say this in videos. It's really important to remember, like, you're just seeing maybe like 20. Well, for me, it's like you're seeing 5 hours at a fucking time of me doing a Twilight book review, but you're still seeing, like, that. Actually, no, I think I'm well more real than, not to get narcissistic, I think I'm more real than these BuzzFeed people, right? Because I am sitting there for hours at a time doing a fucking book review, and it's like my real personality. Like, that is really me, innit? Like, me sitting there just being like, fucking up.
But at the same time, you don't share everything of your life. So, like, if you ever cheated or something, you're not gonna have to write a notes app thing and have everybody telling you they're disappointed.
I'm so confrontational. I wouldn't do that kind of stuff anyway, because at the heart of it, it's just dishonest. And I just don't see the point in living life dishonestly, like, when it comes to relationships and stuff, because you're hurting other people. But it's just like, it's also a headache, I think. Imagine having to lie, and just, some people get off on that. Some people like the seediness and the lying around and that type of thing. But I just say, who's sorry, like, you've got too much time. You've got too much time if you do. I ain't got I want to just sit around and watch Daredevil and play video games. I ain't got the time for that shit. No, it's dishonest, and I wouldn't do that. But I'm so confrontational. I think if I had a situation where people I didn't know were saying I'm disappointed in you, I'd be like, who the fuck do you think you are? Do you know what I mean? Because it is a weird but I do understand why people are upset by it, because you like this person. Maybe you've bought his cookbook, maybe you've engaged with his content. I understand why people would be upset. There is a lot of young people, like, leaving these comments though, and you can kind of tell.
Yeah, I don't know. They should be taught this in school. They should be taught about parasocial relationships. Like, it's you need to learn early. Like, people online are fake. They're not, like, you don't even know, like, she's a natural blonde. She's been lying to all of you, but like everybody's fake. You can't trust anybody, even if you think you can. Like, even if you're watching somebody and you're like, this person seems real, they're probably really nice, could be a mass murderer, who knows? Like, you don't know.
I know, my
it
whole
annoys
face
me
is
so
fake at
much.
this
I'm getting
point.
so.
I think, yeah, there's going to have to be some sort of reform to the educational system, because the online world is here to stay, for better or worse. Probably for worse, ultimately. We know how bad this shit is for us, but hey, some of us make money from it.
Yeah.
They're going to have to start teaching things in class about how to differentiate and how to just have more. I mean, people should be taught critical thinking skills anyway, but we're not. It's not a class that you can take, even though it's a skill that you definitely need to be able to navigate through various aspects of your life.
I mean, we'd be in utopia if people could just think critically. Please. Sometimes I want to scream at people, please use your brain. Please, I'm begging you. But like, it's at the end of the day, he fucked up, he did a bad thing, but we can observe that, but we don't have to be emotionally affected by this man's actions. That is left, unfortunately, for his wife and his kids, who are actually affected by this.
Do you know what I thought? And this is like proper bitchy of me, but I'm going to say it. He cheated on his wife, who cares? I just thought, why is it that just, like, let's be real, average blokes, as soon as they get the tiniest bit of clout or power or whatever, they're just out there like doing shit like this and having affairs. Obviously, like, some women do it too, but it was just like, it's very eye roll worthy, actually, because it's like, oh, what a tired story. I've heard this one a million times. Guy gets successful and then cheats on his supportive and loving wife and kids. Ugh, give me a break. Like, change the channel, ex BuzzFeed.
Yeah, no, I did. Like, because obviously, like I told you, I didn't know who he was, so I had to look him up and look at his picture, and my first reaction was just, really? Is it? So I don't know, but what do I know? I don't even like men, so it's like. Although Jason Momoa, I like him. I fancy him. He's my boy crush.
Okay, so if you can learn and take away anything from this, Vangelina's boy crush is Jason Momoa, and I genuinely don't like anyone.
Yeah, those were the main messages. Forget everything else that we said. Jason Momoa and hatred.
And then I complain about never being included in anything with anyone, like, on this platform. You know, like, this bit off topic, and we're going to have to wrap this up. But, you know, the whole Anision sending out lawsuits to everyone, like, via email. Everyone got... I'm the only person, I think, who's ever consistently made videos on him that never got... I never received any sort of email write-up or lawsuit. And I remember at the time, because, like, literally so many people made video. I think Jacqueline Glenn made a video about it, and Iron Aber Fraser, he made a video about it, and, like, you know, all these different people making these, maybe even Deaf Noodles did, I'm not sure. I think probably Keemstar did. And I'm sitting there like, any day now, mate, any day, just checking my spam folder, refreshing it. So I think, because I think he's aware. I think I saw some comments once saying that, like, he's definitely aware of, like, who I am, because my videos were posted in, like, his discords and chats and stuff, and he saw them. So I reckon probably just fancied me.
Probably, yeah. That's the most logical explanation. You know what? You don't know that that's not the case.
Do you know, I said that to my mum, and she was like, "You're too old for him." My mum said that.
Oh my god, legend.
That's based.
I love her. She's great. You know what, though? I do get it. Like, I feel left out of stuff a lot too, but then I have to remember that everybody has millions of subscribers and I have like 80,000, so they probably just don't know that I exist.
I'm aware that quite a few people know that I exist, but no one cares. Like, no one ever gets into beef with me or saying, no, I'm not going to jinx it, touch wood, because I don't actually, I'm just a nice book review channel now. The only drama I want to get into some beef with Stephanie Meyer. That's it. I don't want Keemstar, don't put me on drama alert.
I could start some drama with you if you want, if you're feeling a bit, like...
People have offered that before and nothing comes to fruition.
Well, I think
even Rachel Waits has offered it, but, like, no.
Well, I mean, I edit your videos, so I see the behind the scenes, so I have plenty to expose you with at this point. It'd be great. We could get you on drama alert.
Of me just literally sitting there with the 1,000-yard stare.
Oh, yeah, there is a lot of that. You just, like, it's like you check out. You just... You'll be in the middle of a sentence and you just stop. I don't know what to do with that, but somehow you always pick up the sentence again with the right tone. Like, you don't start it like you're starting a sentence again. You start it like you haven't taken a break. So it's really easy to edit.
Or sometimes I will just literally get up in the middle of the sentence and wander off for 10 minutes and go do something else.
Yeah, there is a lot of that. So yeah, I'm going to expose you for that. Alizee can't pay attention.
And that is this episode, this new segment of just having a little tea break, tee-hee. And I'm going to see what comes of it. Because like sometimes there's just stuff that I just want to, it's in the news, I want to talk about it. Yeah. Is it really? But just like little quick fire, easy things, and not having to go to a bloody studio to do it. So
it works out. And you can have a cup of tea.
Sweet one. Cheers for coming on. For the rest of you, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure that you follow the Spotify and what's the other one? Apple. Yeah.
That one. The Apple.
Yeah, I guess follow the Apple. That's what caused all the trouble in the first place, isn't it? Eve taking a bite of the apple. Now we've got to deal with all this shit. I swear I'm not a Christian. I don't know where half of this like subconscious Christian propaganda comes from.
It's too much Stephanie Meyer.
I think actually, oh god, I keep meaning to finish, but like my computer's running out of battery, but I can't. Do you know what we used to do at my primary school? And I don't think it was a Christian school, but we would have to sing songs about Jesus, right? Me, little agnostic kid, singing songs about Jesus, like Jesus, yes, he's the king of me. And then we would also sing songs about the Beatles. We'd sing like, what, Eleanor Rigby? The one about the face in a jar by the door. And I always thought, oh my god, is this guy a serial killer? What does that even mean? Why are their faces in jars, like pickled faces?
Did you figure it out later?
No, what does it mean?
I'm pretty sure it's just like metaphorical because she's like depressed or something, so she puts her face on when she leaves.
I thought she was like Ed Gein. My version's well better.
Yeah, I like yours.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.